Hello, everyone. My name is Andreas Diaz. Me and Will are back again, finally, for our 2023 podcast for this year. Of course, as we promised, we're going to do Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Season 6. I just finally finished up it today. So,
hmm
Will, how you doing?
I'm all right. How are you?
Doing good. I mean, so far, our 2023 has been so busy.
Very busy.
Yeah, so a great way to start this year. So, all right, so let's get through it. I just finished today the whole season. I mean, the last
Oh wow.
what? Yeah, well, like just the season finale because
I see.
I started on I think Friday, and then I was just having like my area is having some internet connection, so it just took a while to get finished with all 13 episodes.
hmm
And I gotta admit, wait, I want to start out this. This is probably my favorite season of Agency.
Really?
Uh, yes, I think. Just thinking in my head, I guess is it. It could be season number two for me after three, or it could top it. I like this more than I think most seasons, but I will get into why. But overall, I really enjoyed this season more than season five. I like season five. I really enjoyed that first half of the pod with
hmm
them uh,
In space.
in space, and then I think it. I just sort of lost interest in the half point when we went back,
Yeah,
and
it did. Kind of lose the thread
yeah,
at first. hmm
yeah, I enjoy. I mean, I enjoyed the 100 episode, and um, but yeah, but this season I really enjoy it because well, first off, I really like that they went all out science fiction for
hmm
this season. So I really enjoyed that. I really enjoy the twists and turns that this show is so good at. They actually nailed it, and it was like I was already. I was in. I was like in. I was in enthralled slash engaged in my seat. I was like, oh my god, I can't believe they did it, and it's just crazy. Which we'll get into. But what do you think, Will? What's your opinion on season six? And it's in high in your ranking of the seasons, or what's your opinion on this season?
It's kind of in the middle.
Hmm.
I don't know. I definitely liked the strong lean into the science fiction aspects,
Mm-hmm.
um, but it did kind of feel like I think this was the season where I was like, okay, it seems like they're starting to run out of ideas. Like it seems
Oh,
like the show is winding down.
way down.
Um,
Oh
just
man.
the fact that they like kind of wrote a convoluted way to have Coulson come back.
Oh, that's true. Um. Ooh, well,
Uh,
I, I actually, I think out of the most convoluted ways to bring Coulson back, I actually enjoyed this because I think because I seen so many times when these shows, like I guess comparing to the Arrowverse, if we have to compare this as like a superhero thing, this is
mhm,
the most impressive thing. I think it's because the actor, I think Clark Gregg as Phil Coulson, did so to mention his performance of this season is really great,
mhm,
and I think they did such a good job of like testing our our trust of this version of Coulson. You know, not this is not Coulson, this is Surge, and like how our characters react to it. And
mhm.
I think that was the thing that made me engage and actually appreciate this way of bringing back Coulson. You know,
You
where
like that it shook things up.
yeah, like it took us up, but it also went into in like very unique territories for our main characters that we're following this season. You know, with
hmm
May and Sky, and then of course Mac as the director. I feel like they did a really good job, the showrunners, of challenging our characters this season.
hmm
Because if you see this in any show, you're not gonna get that kind of result. I mean, I that's the honest thing I will say. You know, yes, I agree with you. It was convoluted, but like they gave us so much of like intrigue and then like what was going on, and it gave us answers. That's the thing. they
Hmm.
gave me answers where shows like especially the Arrowverse, where like especially the Flash, where they set up these questions,
Hmm.
but they don't pay off the answers.
Hmm.
Where one of the things I appreciate these last 2 years, which I can't believe it, 2 years already, of watching this show, I mean these showrunners gave me the answers and like satisfying way compared to
Yeah.
other shows. So that's where I'm like in I actually I think they did a good job of successfully um bringing Coulson back in a very unique way. So that's where I'm at. You know?
Yeah. I should say that it it is still like leagues away better than like anything from the Arrowverse.
Yeah.
Um,
I mean,
I'm a huge fan of
yeah.
Jed Whedon and Mo Takaron,
Me
the
too.
showrunners. Um, and yeah, no, definitely what you're saying. There's always like an intentionality behind what they're writing. Like there's you always
Hmm.
get the feeling that there's a plan that they worked on before they started writing the season. So
Hmm.
like if questions come up, there will be answers, and it won't be like some of the other like superhero shows where stuff comes up and then writers kind of forget about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's always the issue with all the Arrowverse, and I think couple of the Marvel shows that we have, like particularly the later Netflix shows.
Hmm.
Um, not fulfilling their promises. I think this show, I mean, Agents of Shield has done a really good job of just keeping their quality like the same and like actually answering our questions while we're watching this episodes, weekly basis. So I want to. I think this would be a good way to translate. I think the reason that it sort of worked, I like. I think I like this so much because it was 13 episodes. I
Hmm.
think they did a really good job of using the 13 episodes. Um, I think it just. I mean, this show did a good job of using the 22 or 24 episodes, whatever they had
Hmm. Yeah.
from the 5 seasons. I think they did a really good job of doing the 13 episode and like really pacing the show right way. I still have some episodes I didn't care for. Like I didn't care for the fear and loathing in Claston, whatever, where
Hmm.
Daisy and Gemma Simmons got a drug, I guess, with this alien
Hmm.
troubadour food that's it's almost like from Star Trek. I don't know. You seen this episode where Spock's parents are from? It reminds me of that a little bit with the like when you see the aliens, like all the alien leaders in Star Trek gathering in this the Enterprise, and then you see some food that are like so exotic. Like it reminds me of that.
Hmm.
Um, so they get like you know it's sort of like acid drug, and then they got so delusional, and it was okay episode, but at least I appreciate that Gemma and well actually Fitz and Gemma it got together finally, but then it
Hmm.
got interrupted and he got captured by the hunters and
Of
all
course.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So but yeah, so I think they did a really good job with the 13 episodes, and I was so like today I was so pumped for the season finale. I was like, oh my god. And more than any season, I think this was like my favorite season finale of the show.
It was a good one.
Yeah, it was a good one, and just yeah, I think you mentioned like it felt like they were running out of ideas. I feel like towards the end of the season finale, it felt like that a little bit.
Hmm.
Um, like oh, we brought like I thought initially it was gonna be like initially when I saw Coulson coming back, I thought that was gonna be like a this high events life model decoy, which that didn't happen this season. But we're gonna get one for the next
Hmm.
season, and I
Right.
was like, oh, okay, and and again we like put bits out again, and like I know what's the reason why they did it. I know that the actor was sort of was in a new show, I think,
I think he
before.
was filming a movie. I think.
Yeah, okay. like, so we're not gonna have him, I guess, in these next season, and like, please no.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
he's my favorite part of the show, and then the
Mm-hmm.
actor kept having like other work, so they had to find like creative ways to write him off.
Yeah.
And uh,
I mean, well, I mean, at least I could, they actually found a very clever way to do it. I mean, in a very good science fiction way. But I don't
yeah,
know. You know. I don't know.
it was better than them just like killing him and not
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
wrapping up his story. So
Yeah. Yeah.
I'll take it over that.
Yes, that's true. But yeah, but I guess I, all on aside, I like how connective it was. Like, I like that the show was like two steps ahead of us. Like, oh, we can get fits from this other timeline, And I like that like this is something none of these science fiction shows discuss in depth. Is like the consequences of parallax and like tempering the timeline. All that. I appreciate the show discuss that.
Mm-hmm.
So that's good, and I'm intrigued what happened, like, like how we like advanced this queen jack that Gemma used to rescue, half of our characters towards the end of the season finale. So
Mm-hmm.
so I'm engaged, and like the jump drive, I'm curious how they upgrade that, and where's Anacon, or the uh the assistant that was with Fitz, the
Oh, Enoch.
Chronicron. Enoch, thank you. Oh my god. Yes, Enoch was like where he's gonna be in this season, next season. Hopefully he comes back.
Mm-hmm.
Cause I gotta say, I think this would be a good way to jump into characters. Well, did you like the 13 episode account? Do you think they did a good job before we translate to characters? Do you think the episodes count was better this season, and you thought they did a good job using it?
Yeah, I thought it felt a little more streamlined, and there weren't as many
Mhm.
like filler episodes.
Yeah.
So I think they
Um.
did a good job with the shorter episode order.
Yeah. I gotta say, I mean, with Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D, they had like um not like they have a good job of not making too many filler episodes. Um, compared
Well,
to other
in the later seasons, yeah, the
mm,
early ones definitely have.
better ones. Yeah.
Yeah.
That I will agree. That's true. Yeah. But yeah. But it was refreshing just not to
Mm-hmm.
have filler episodes. Cause oh my god, like the errorverse are so bad at this. It's like,
Yes.
and like I was just like very annoyed every time I was watching their seasons. But yeah, so uh, best MVV character for me for this season was Enoch. Enoch
Mm-hmm.
was the best character this season.
Absolutely.
Oh my god, I just love him.
Mm-hmm.
Just like of course it, and that was it episode episode 5 when they're in the casinos, and like he like just completely falls apart. Like he just slams his head towards the table. It was so funny, and then it was funny how Fitz has to encourage him to continue. Like it was just so funny. And just him and Fitz's relationship was so great to see more developed, because we sort of missed it in season 5, of course,
Mm-hmm.
because of the plan that Enoch had, and what Fitz has to be in this this place. So it
Mm-hmm.
was really great for this season to really expand upon that, and explore more of their relationship, and I really enjoy it.
Yeah.
So but I don't know, what is he your MVP, or is there someone else you think is the MVP of the season?
No, it's definitely Enoch. Enoch was a very pleasant surprise in season 6 and 7. So
Oh, great. Season 7. I'm happy to hear that.
yeah.
Oh, that's good. Yeah, and it was great to see him interacting with Simmons as well.
Mm-hmm.
That was good too, and yeah, and I was very excited to see his people, the Chronicons.
Hmm.
I thought they were very intriguing aliens. They were like they're basically like the Data meets Spock, the Falcons,
Yeah, well,
and
they're androids, but they're
yeah,
like they control
advanced.
the timeline. Yeah, it's
Yeah, yeah. Advanced sensors that control time. Yeah.
hmm
They're basically like time lords. Like they're like
a little bit.
yeah, they're like last it was 2 seasons ago. So I haven't been catching up with Doctor Who, but like the Master made the Cybermen into like time Cybermens. Like
Okay.
yeah, it's sort of like that. So they have Time Lord slash Cybermen. That's what I was thinking when I was
Yeah.
watching the Chronicons. Um, but yeah, I'm curious. So they're going to be our main antagonists, right? Next season.
Right. Yeah.
So I'm very curious. We'll see that main hunter that we saw in a couple of episodes. Um, so I'm very excited to have them as our main antagonists, and I think they're very formidable foes for our characters.
Hmm.
So I'm very excited for that. And yeah, I think they were a good addition to the show as aliens. And this show does a really good job of taking these alien um creatures and make them really intriguing.
Hmm.
Because that's one of the things I kind of wish the MCU sort of focus on. Like as I mentioned in our last, I mean, our last podcast in season 5, that I enjoyed this version of the Kree more than the
Hmm.
movies, really. So
Yeah. No, it's what the writers for the show are so good at. Is just like creating characters that actually feel like people. Um,
yep, yep,
Whereas
I
I feel
agree.
like in the movies, especially for like alien races that you aren't like focusing on for the plot, like they just get away with making them these like two-dimensional characters that are very easily forgettable.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, and especially like if you're trying to make like an alien invasion, like if you had intrigue, like you have to put a lot of effort to make them interesting, you know?
Hmm.
Like I don't know what's gonna happen with Secret Invasion. We'll get to that. And I'm I'm a little concerned, you know?
Hmm.
And
Me
and
too.
you know and you know, despite I'm excited to see the show, I'm just like, yeah, we'll see. I like the
Hmm.
scrolls, but like it's not as like in depth from the comics if this show handled the scrolls, I mean, I could have been so much happy and just in the mood for seeing the scrolls in a very great way. But
Hmm.
yeah, and then the Kree's like it's just like you know, nothing. Like at least in Agent of Shields, like you get their culture so much more better. It's just like
Hmm.
you know. But yeah. But I will say I guess we'll get into the main villain for this season. Isis. That's what's her name. As Azen
It's
or I can. Is this what
Izel, I think.
Acel? Yeah. Acel. So her people, or I guess her species, I guess.
Hmm.
Um, I will say the downside of it. I wish we spent. I think I was thinking about it after I got to finish with season finale. I wish we got more to learn about the Malefits and like where she comes from
Hmm.
as her creatures and all that. But I think she was a great antagonist for this season, and I felt like she's definitely my number 3 favorite antagonist in this show. I think.
Okay.
At yeah, after Hydra in pretty much all the season where Hydra was the main focus, like
Hmm.
especially Ward. I think after Ward and then Doctor Radcliffe, who Doctor Randall, Doctor Radcliffe and his Ammo D arc. I felt like
Hmm.
she was number 3. I think she was just a great villain, and her motivation was very clear and it was interesting how she was connected to Surge slash Coulson, and so like taking that. Like I thought that was all good, but
Yeah.
I wish we spent more time with like what was her species about and all that, you know.
Hmm.
But what's your opinion on the antagonist for this season?
Yeah. No. Again, like I liked the like sci-fi concepts that they were working with, the and like
Mm-hmm.
the sci-fi fantasy angle. I really liked that they like still were tying in the monolith.
Mm-hmm.
And just like I love that the show just slowly developed its own kind of mythology within the MCU. Like
Yep.
it was like unique to itself, and it didn't have to like rely on everything. And by season 6, we're really like getting new and unique stories that are like building on things that are um, you know
From the
um,
previous seasons.
right.
Hmm. Yeah, I agreed. Yeah, because we mentioned like last season, it was like because of Infinity War, they had to work around what was going on with the MCU films,
Hmm.
and this season you don't feel like that. Like I think that was the great things about this season. It was just we didn't address too much what was going on with Infinity War or like what was between Infinity War and Endgame. Um, um, but I think this season didn't have that pressure of connecting to the movies, you know,
Hmm.
which was helpful, and so they were able to expand upon things that maybe were well could have unable to do if there was, you know, uh, connected with the MCU or like something was that major, you know.
Hmm.
So, you know, like of course they did the Kree, but like it wasn't connected all with Captain Marvel, so I was happy we didn't see that, you know, and like you know, and we didn't do like a time travel. We're gonna do time travel next season, but like I happy we didn't, you know, cheese it as much as this season, but in next season, you know.
Hmm.
So, but I think that was helpful. Um, but yeah, I guess I think one thing that we should address is that by this time they were not connected to the. I mean, they weren't like talking to the Marvel Studios, so you know because was season 4 was around like 2017, like around because the Marvel community was down, was no longer there. The you know Marvel's like the Marvel Studios was now being its own thing. So like the television side didn't know what was going on with the you know the movies, especially
Hmm.
with the new Avengers film. So I think this show took the advantage of it and like just went out to be its own thing, which is good.
Hmm. Yeah,
So
I think it was better for it.
yeah, yeah. So because that was my problem with last season. I was like it
Hmm.
was working around with Infinity War, and
Right.
I so yeah, but yeah, so we brought up a couple times about the Surge slash Coulson, you know, like the way he comes back, but like, do you like the character? I from the beginning of the season towards the end, I thought he was a great addition. I wish we kept him. Like, I wish we kept him instead of just having this LMD version of Coulson. I'm like, no.
Yeah,
I don't know. What's your what's your opinion of it?
it was definitely interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I liked that they gave Clark Gregg a chance to kind of like flex his acting muscles a little more,
Yeah.
play a different character. As you said, I liked that it kind of shook up the character dynamics, and had them like process Coulson's death in different ways.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
yeah, I don't know. I thought it gave a good breather between like Coulson and Coulson's LMD, so that it didn't just feel like Coulson never died.
Yeah. That's true.
And they do a good job in season 7. No, I'm not gonna like get into
In details, but
spoilers, yeah,
okay.
but they
You
do a
know.
good job of like making sure that it's like it is a different Coulson. Like
Okay.
um, it's not like the characters forget that he's dead.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm a little like
apprehensive.
yes, of, of just getting this MOD version of Coulson, but I mean, the showrunners did a good job of discussing the death of Coulson in this
Hmm.
season, and so I'm not just too worried about it, but I was just like I was hoping because the Surge character was so fascinating, like him or the slash Coulson that was recreated in life,
Hmm.
um, just having this like battlefield kind of personality, which was cool, and like he just like was just like mobile. It was like the Moby Dick kind of like sort of direction we took to this version of Coulson. That was
Hmm.
good and cool. It was like Star Trek 2 Wrath of Khan slash First Contact. The Picard, him guessing the Borg, or like Khan after James D. Kirk in that film. Uh, like it was so cool to see that, and I thought like Clark Gregg just owned it, and I really like his like smoke crew he had that helped him was trying to stop as oh my god, I cannot say her name right, the main villain for to revive from Earth, like I really like the main big guy. I forgot his name, Jack or something.
Oh, I've forgotten his name too.
Yeah, Jackal, that's his name.
Jackal. Okay.
Yeah, Jackal. I thought he was the best character from that group, and I'm curious. We're gonna get Snowflake back. uh, does he come back next season?
Oh, I don't
I'm trying to.
think so.
Okay,
Or maybe she no. She might for like one episode. I'm having trouble
okay,
remembering.
yeah, because it's like that was the one thing that was odd, because like Deke like her, and
Right.
like we didn't bring her back, and I wish we saw Snowflake back because I thought there was potential with her character, but
Yeah.
yeah, but we'll see when we get to season 7. And the other guy, Axe, whatever his name was intriguing. He was sort of like Drake, Deke, or whatever the Deke,
Hmm.
uh, personality. He was good. He was serviceable, but I thought it was very interesting from the beginning how this Surge character, and how he like approach his team compared to how Coulson treat his team in the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. So that was like a very cool juxtaposition between this version of Coulson against the real Coulson we had.
Hmm.
So I thought that really worked. Um, I wasn't expecting him to be the main villain, or like he's going to be the secondary villain. I actually really like his alien form. Um, did you expect that he was going to be the secondary antagonist with the female one?
No, that was definitely a twist.
Yeah. Uh, a twist that I wasn't expecting. Uh,
Hmm.
yeah. I was shocked the show was going to kill May, and then of course last minute, Simmons come and had her high technology and save her. You know.
Hmm.
So but yeah. So uh but yeah, I thought Clark Gregg did a good job. I will say, um, we're gonna get into May. I think May was great in this season. She had a lot to do here. I'm just shocked that she's not director of Shield. Like, how the heck is Mac the Shield director?
Well, he's
Like,
more of a people person.
oh, I guess so. I don't know. That's something I'm a little like really like May knew Coulson like very
I
well.
don't think May would want it.
Okay, yeah, like I I guess so. She's never like I mean she was never like she likes to be more like behind the scenes slash just the field agent, right? You
Hmm.
know, um, she doesn't like the politics of being a director and like all that. Where like Coulson knew both sides. He knew the field, but also knew the behind scenes of politics, right? And
Hmm.
so I guess so. I just, Mac. I will say Mac was great in the season. I thought he had great quotes. I did like his quote about we're in like a Romeo situation, like we're facing the Romeo zombies. So like, he had great moments.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, and oh yeah, he had my favorite moment when Jackal when they were in the ship in episode 10, or not episode 10, like 7 and 8, the
Hmm.
collision course, the two parters, and when Jackal he shot the infected human, and Mac would say, "What the heck you're doing?" And then it came out, and he's like, "Oh no, keep what you're doing." Shoot, that
Uh-huh.
was my left out moment. I was like, "Really, Mac?" Oh my god, he was funny. So I thought Mac was great. It was okay, yeah, Unity connections. Um, it was. I really like the direction we took for him and Yo-Yo's relationship. I really like that. I love Yo-Yo in the show. She's my like second or third character I love in the show.
Hmm.
I thought both of them were really great, and I was so sad her lover, um, was it Cal, something? Oh my god, what's his name? Uh, Keller. That's his name. Um, the agent that she was dating.
Oh yeah, Keller.
Yeah, I love him. I was crossing my fingers. I'm crossing my fingers now behind the scenes on my screen. Uh, I was hoping he survived and be a main player for the team, and then of course they kill him off, and I was like, oh my god, why? I love him. He was great.
Mm.
I thought he was a good addition to the show. I like him. So and then same thing with Davis. I was shocked they killed Davis. When ISIS was controlling the our characters in on episode 11, or
Hmm.
yeah, episode 10. I'm sorry, episode 10. I was just shocked that she killed Davis, and I just lost him because I love him. I didn't expect to like him. And it's just, oh my god, this season they did such a good job of just not not expecting some of the characters you like to be killed, and that was like, so sad. So
Hmm.
but what do you think about those deaths? I don't know, like, were you surprised by those deaths? And it was one. Is Davis your favorite character, or Keller?
I don't know if I have a favorite. I
Hmm.
did think, like as they were introduced, I
Hmm.
was like, oh, they're adding more characters so they can kill some.
Oh
Because
my god.
like, I don't know. I know how attached everyone was to the main cast, so I just feel like there was like resistance to killing people off. So
Yeah.
they introduced new characters to kind of fill that gap.
Yeah. I mean, well, I mean, Davis has been with us since what, season
I think
4?
he was in season one as like briefly.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it was what, after the Hydra breakout, or it was like before that? I it's been a
I
while
don't
since.
remember, but
Yeah, it's been a while for me since I saw season 1 last 2 years ago. Oh my god. Oh. But yeah, but like Piper, I remember she was like introduced in 3 or 4, I think.
mhm,
Uh, so
yeah.
which I'm happy Piper is alive, so I'm glad about that. Uh,
Mhm,
so yeah, at least the show doesn't do the annoying thing like with the Arrowverse. Like they too did that, but like they did the lazy. Well, they did the cheat thing on the multiverse. They just brought
right.
doppelgangers, and like it was always felt like, and then I like this show. Like, I like every character.
Mhm,
Where Well, there's an exception. One character I don't like with this show. We'll get to him. Um,
Okay.
uh, yeah, well, I mentioned him a while, but I there were like I don't like the teams in the Arrowverse. Like, I don't like the new like Arrow team with Mister Terrific or
Hmm.
Wild Dog or the new Canary. Despite the actors are good, but like I just didn't care about those characters. Or like the Flash team, the newest one that's currently happening is like not as good as the first one. And
Mm.
I don't know. Here it's just different. I think everyone likes these characters, and I like every character. And I think these characters that are supposed to be killed, for that they do a great job of killing them off because we like them before we get to their demise. So
Hmm.
you know,
Yeah. Yeah, they do.
they do, yeah, yeah. And compared to other shows, other shows
Hmm.
they don't do it, But yeah, because Davis, I think he's a father, right? Because uh, like
Yes.
yeah, he had kids, right? He dropped that in season 6, and I was like,
Yeah.
oh, but it's funny we don't like addressed it too much,
Hmm.
so it's kind of funny they dropped that, like, oh, he's also a father and he has kids and all that. And I'm like, oh, okay. But yeah, do you have a least favorite character in the show? I'm kind of curious.
Like of the main cast.
Yeah, like who's your least favorite?
I mean, oh, this might be cheating.
Sure,
Uh,
sure. Go ahead.
Lincoln from season 3.
That I can understand. Yeah,
Yeah.
Lincoln had his moments, but yeah, okay. Well, my least favorite, it used to be Mac, but it's no longer that because I thought Mac was he
I
got
love
better
Mac.
as
Yeah.
yeah. But my least favorite is actually Deke. Deke has
Oh.
become my least favorite. I'm sorry, I just don't like him. We got to him in what, 4 or 5. Him doing his company and like,
Hmm.
and then his just like the personality he has, and then it's kind of like how he interacts with his grandparents with Fitz and Simmons. It was just like, oh no, I don't like him. It's just,
Right.
he had, he's growing on me, but like he's one of my least favorite characters. And I did forget that last season they kept him like here, and I don't know. I don't think he's a worthy addition to the team. Like, for these last seasons, I just wish there was other characters they could easily promote. Like Flint could have been a great character to be in this last 3 seasons, or I mean, Doctor Radcliffe like could have been a great addition.
Hmm.
Um, or like, oh my god, like Robbie Reyes could have been awesome for 3 seasons, but yeah, we stuck with this kid. This guy that we have. I don't know. I just didn't care, and I like his moment. Like that scene, the first part of the finale. Like, I did sympathize him. Like, he's alone. Like,
Hmm.
he wants to be appreciated, and that's why he started his company and all that. Excuse me, and it's a good speech, and then but at the same time, he just makes these very like rash decisions and just like doesn't think through his plans.
Yeah. No, he's not the brightest.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
don't know. He's got some growth coming.
Okay. I mean, I don't know. I don't see what the showrunners are trying to do with him in this show, and like why they think he's a great addition to this main cast. But
Yeah.
you know,
They might just have fun writing for like a stupid character.
yeah, that's true. Uh, I don't know.
And I know they really liked the actor, so
Yes. Well, I will give this. I think the actor that plays him. oh, let me get to his name. Jeff Ward. He's great.
Mm-hmm.
I like him, and I don't have problems with his performance. I just don't like the way we take his character in this season. But
Mm-hmm.
he has great funny moments. I did laugh at the 10% that he gave to Mac for his company. Like I did laugh at that. He's
Mm-hmm.
like 10%. Oh, what I was thinking. It's like, oh my god. And then, um, when he jumped right to the palace, the temple in the finale. I loved how his company employees just clapped, and the one girl say, "Oh, he's so cool," and like, oh my god, so funny. Great way to end that scene.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah, and his girlfriend was funny. Like I did like the end stinger where like she does the Snapchat, like I right the Snapchat
Mm-hmm.
or her phone, and like you see it like before she was getting the drinks, and then see her like hiding. It was funny, and then uh, the friend that was revealed to be a SEAL agent, Khan, like again another character I like. Khan was funny. He was great, and they would kill him off. Like,
Yeah.
oh my god, ah, god damn it, this show so good. Anyway, but yeah, so Dig is my least favorite character. I guess I'm curious what they're gonna do with him next season, but yeah, he's my least favorite character in the
Okay.
show. You know,
Mm-hmm.
like like Mac, because Mac got better because he has Yo-Yo with him. I like that relationship.
Mm-hmm.
He stepped up to be a director, and I like that. And but Deke, I just felt like it's like so something. But speaking of Mac, I don't know. We spent time with Mac, but I thought Mac was great this season. I thought he was really awesome, and he's being himself.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but I really like how difficult it is to be a director of Shield, and I really like we saw that, and especially how it affected his relationship with Yo-Yo. How that yeah they sort of separated, and I like that. Thank God they went back, but like I really appreciate how I think yeah he's a good director of Shield. I can see why, and you're right, Will. He's like a people person,
Mm-hmm.
whatever, and I thought he's good at his job. So, but I did like how he handles people. Like I love how when we see Flint again, or they created Flint and their image, and I love how you say, "Oh, we're gonna get drive through," and then I like the line Flint says like, "What's drive through?" But yeah, I thought Mac was great. But what's your opinion on Mac this season? They did a good job with him, expanding his character and all that.
Yeah. I mean, I always enjoy Mac.
Mm, yeah. Yeah. This is first time we not see him using his axe gun.
His shotgun axe.
Yeah. Yeah. We saw it with Deke in his framework game, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But it's weird not to see him holding that. Uh, Mac.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But I mean, he's the director, I guess. But I don't know. It felt so weird not seeing that in this
Yeah.
season.
It's iconic.
Yeah, it's iconic. Exactly. I want that for my Christmas, actually.
You
Uh,
want a shotgun axe?
yes. Oh my god, that would be my
Oh,
greatest present I ever had.
yeah. You'll shoot your eye out, kid.
uh, I mean, it could be a BB gun. We can make a BB gun and axe like a fake toy axe, and be safe.
Or
Oh god. Oh, I had this great idea. Oh, I forgot what. A rubbing alcohol axe gun. Imagine that, Will.
mm,
Uh, what do you think? That'd be a great present. A rubbing alcohol axe gun. What do you think? That'd be
no.
great. Anyway, anyway, I'm just making these dreams come true. Anyway, um, but it was weird not to see Daskon, but it was cool to see it in the framework that Deke was developing
Mm-hmm.
in his company. But yeah, speaking of Mac's relationship with Yo-Yo, I thought Yo-Yo was great for this season. I thought she had a lot to do here, especially her relationship with Keller, yeah, Keller, was really intriguing, and like how she, like she was still supporting Mac as a director, but not trying to, you know, be in the way of his new position
Hmm.
in Shield, and so I did dug that, and I like how mature the relationship is. Like I think the show
Hmm.
does a good job of depicting the relationships right, and I really dug that. Um, I was scared they're almost gonna kill her off when the what's it the strike got into her mouth,
Hmm.
and I was like, hell no, you cannot kill her. She's a Colombian woman that I like, and you cannot kill off my like this the one Latino person in this team. And
Hmm.
thank goodness we didn't do that. I'm so happy. But what do you think about Yo-Yo in this season?
Yeah, no, I thought it was interesting having like her relationship with Mac, and they're like the way they handled not being together.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah. Yeah. Which Keller survived, but
yeah,
yeah, not cannot get nice things right in life. Oh boy. But yeah, so I thought those two characters were good. Then we can get into Sky. I thought Sky was pretty good. I don't think like besides the Coulson thing, I thought she was better than last season. Well, because last season was all about her, right? Like the second half, because there was a prophecy of how she was going to destroy the world. So,
hmm,
and this season it was like just very like besides the Coulson thing. I thought she didn't have much big developments besides being parallel to May, like not accepting or maybe accepting this is Coulson, but she didn't have a major development this season, and I was fine with that because I
hmm.
didn't like the direction we were doing with her in last season. But that was was it it arc they had to build, and I was fine with that. But but I didn't like that direction. But I thought this season Sky was good, and yeah, we saw really fun things with her. Um, I I was trying to figure out I thought she lost her powers this season, right? Last season, or was it just temporary, right?
Well, it was she lost her arms, and then the like mechanical arms that they gave her as replacements
Mm,
weren't like compatible with her powers.
okay, okay. All right, because I was just thinking that was really bizarre that the Sky for like had her power still. Like,
Oh, so I thought
oh,
you meant
sorry,
I thought you
Yo-Yo.
were still talking about Yo-Yo.
No. I'm sorry. No. I understand what's going on with Yo-Yo.
Okay,
I'm
sorry,
not talking about Sky. Not a
I
fan.
got
No.
lost. That was
Yeah.
my bad.
Yeah. Because
Um,
I thought Sky lost her powers last season, right? Like,
yeah, I guess it was like temporary.
okay.
Um,
Yeah, because it was during the Gravitron arc
right.
in the second half.
Well, I know she
But
got it. She
she got it
had her
back.
powers at the very end of the season of season
Mm,
5 because she had to
okay.
shoot um what's his name into space.
Gravitron.
Yeah,
Or General Tapper, Tapper,
Talbot. Yeah.
Tapper. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, because I was just kind of like surprised that she has still have powers, but yeah, I
Mm-hmm.
was kind of intrigued. Um, but yeah, yeah, I thought the Sky was good, but yeah, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But now let's get into the big characters that I like. Of course, this season, the reason I like this season more was because we got finally Fitzsimmons together for the first time, like by themselves. And one of my favorite episodes was episode 6, the Inescapable. Is this called? Uh, yeah,
Inescapable. Yeah.
yeah, like that's my favorite episode of season
Mm-hmm.
6. In general, it's like I think it's number one after the Fitz centric episode from last season, season 5, and then the of course the Planet 227, or the Simmons solo episode where she got stuck in
Right.
the, like this was my favorite because they, like, I knew they're gonna do it, and it was the best episode ever. I just love it, and I was so happy because I was so annoyed that last season we were just jerking around the relationship sometimes.
Hmm.
I mean, I get it. Like this season, we addressed it. Like, you know, the universe is against them, and so I like that the universe is like around them, and I like that. But sometimes
Hmm.
I wish we keep them together. And I thought Fitz and Simmons was great in this season. They really got a lot to do, and I thought the actors was amazing. Um, and yeah, I just love everything about their characters, and I am gonna sad not to see Fitz again, not in the whole season, and
Hmm.
just, I don't know, but at least I'm happy to say that, like, at least we got one more season with him with the whole crew before next season, so like that's a good. But what's your overall opinion of the Fitz and Simmons stuff this season? Is it your best? Like, is your favorite, or like what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I think the Fitz and Simmons storyline is like done really well throughout the entire show.
Oh
Um,
yeah, I love it.
so yeah, I think this season they did a good job of like working around like Fitz's schedule.
Yeah, I'm
Um,
shocked. Yeah,
yeah, they did better than season 5.
yeah.
I thought.
Um, yeah. Well, with not having too many episodes,
Hmm.
like it was very good how we intertwine his story against, Simmons, and then the Earthbound um characters.
Right.
I thought it was a very streamlined way of doing that, where, last season, like, okay, we're in space, but then we need to have, we, because I mentioned the one episode where we had the Fitz focus, like why he was stuck, and like how he had to get to, the future where his friends were at. Like, I
Hmm.
liked that episode, but I wish we had maybe intertwined that while our friends were in space, but we didn't do that. And he was in the second half more, but um but you know but I think this season worked a lot better,
Hmm.
so with the schedule, and just did clever ways to, and especially because we had more Enoch and Fitz stuffs, it was good to see, and so I thought that was good. So
Yeah.
yeah. But yeah, I am gonna be sad not to see these two. Like, is he in the final episode?
Yeah.
Fitz? Okay,
Yeah. He is.
because that needs, like, we need them
Well,
to be together
they
first.
have an ending.
That's good. That's good. Because I'll be jumping in the window if they don't do it,
Hmm. Hmm.
or start a rubbing alcohol business to exceed my pain of just not seeing these two together. But anyway, but yeah, I thought the Fitzsimmons were great. I mentioned how episode 6 was my favorite episode. What's your favorite episode? To kind of like start wrapping up this podcast, like, what's your favorite episode for this season?
Well, I mean, 6 was a good one because it had a
Yeah,
lot of great like character development
yeah,
moments, and like Fitz and Simmons are my favorite parts of the show.
yep.
So yeah, if not that one, then another one where they're like together uh, in space somewhere.
hmm Is that uh,
I mean,
uh
episode 7 is also the two of them together. But
yeah, the is it told Ja?
told you, yeah,
Told ya. Oh god. I gotta say, they have very clever episode titles for this, and
yeah, they have fun.
yeah, 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 episode 7 really good. Um, I thought that was a really great episode. I think another good episode was a window of opportunity. I thought that was really good. Like just seeing the Surge and his team how they work and like why they
Mm-hmm.
were stealing the gems and all that. Like it was really great, and it was a good episode for me to to like cause you still feel the sense that she hasn't overcome Coulson's death, you know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I think this was a really good episode for that. And then I guess I will say I'm trying to figure out the other thing is a good episode as
Mm.
well. I thought that was a good episode. Of course, this is one. Uh, Surge is in custody, and then May was forced to kill the parasite that was affecting the man. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and then yeah, this is where like Simmons surrenders the Karmacons in this um episode, and that's like her reading with Fitz, and that whole episode was great, and I
Mm-hmm.
was like so pumped to see Fitz Simmons be together again finally.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Um, but yeah, and then from from episode 8 to 10, best episodes from this season. The Callisto Course, great two-parter. I like the Leap. Is like a
Mm-hmm.
great it almost feels like a mid-season finale that starts up again at Pod, and
Mm-hmm.
so I thought they were really good. Least favorite episode. I uh, uh
I mean, I don't know. Um,
yeah.
I don't think I necessarily have one.
Oh really? Okay. I mean, it's tough. 30 episodes, all class, like very good episodes. I will say, like for me, least favorite is episode 3 or 4. Um,
Okay.
Fear Loathing on Planet Kiston, and then episode 4, Cold Level. That's where we get introduced again, Deke and his whole
Mm-hmm.
company and all that. Um, and that's where like I don't like Cold Level. I think Cold Level is my worst one because Keller dies in that episode. And like
Yeah.
ah, not a good, not a good episode. So to speak. So yeah. But yeah, I just gotta say this was a really awesome episode. Was there anything else we had to mention? I we covered everything. I guess. Oh, Benson. We have to mention Benson. He was another character. I like Benson. I thought he was a really interesting character. He was a very sympathetic character. How his husband was dying in a car accident, and then just the way the villain just used the model of it to recreate him, and it's like that was so dark.
Mm-hmm.
I just never expected. And yeah, we just didn't get back to him in the finale. I was kind of shocked we didn't see him or that. So I don't know if we're gonna see him again in season 7, but I thought he was a good addition to the show.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Benson. Yeah, I guess I think that's it for now. I Is there any we have to mention, Will, besides that?
That's what I can think of.
Yeah, I think we covered everything we have to say for this show. I'm just looking at my notes right now, see what else we have to mention. Um, yeah, but I think season 6 was a good season. Will, thank you so much for joining me today.
Yeah. Thank you.
I'm yeah. 2023 is here. Thank goodness. And something special this year is happening. This year is actually the 10th anniversary of the show. So this is a good way to celebrate the show. We have one more season to discuss, and then we can do a I we can well, I guess we can do like an overall back like a look back on the show. Like how I never expect to like this show. I think it's one of my favorite shows that I ever binge watch, and I'm very happy that you encouraged me to watch this show for the last 2 years, and I can't believe it's been 2 years I've been watching this show. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. So But thank you for joining today, and thank you for being an awesome host as well.
Yeah,
So,
thank you.
yep, yep. So, as always, thank you folks for listening to this podcast. Of course, me and Will be back again for a new spectacular podcast. And of course, Happy New Year's and 2023. Yep. And there's going to be new content for 2023, and we got a lot of Marvel talk we can discuss. So, thank you, everyone, and have a good night.